It's strange how a chair can hold so many memories, not because it moves, but because it doesn't anymore. That chair in the corner, once a place of conversation, of laughter, of coffee cups and stories, now sits quietly, waiting for someone who doesn't come back. It becomes a monument to absence, not because someone died, but because the rhythm of life changed. Sometimes it's not even about who used to sit there, but who doesn't anymore. The grandchildren no longer visit like before. The house is quieter, the phone rings less, and that chair watches everything, silently. It becomes a mirror for what you no longer say, and for what no one asks anymore. The empty chair is not about the object. It's about the space it represents inside you, the part that used to feel useful, seen, necessary, and now, too often, feels invisible, forgotten by a world that keeps running forward, without glancing back. The hardest part of aging isn't the wrinkles or the weakness, it's the silence that grows louder, the one that stretches across the table at lunch where once voices filled the air. It's the silence when you say, "Good morning," and no one replies. When the holidays pass without visitors. When the mailbox is filled with nothing but bills. Never a letter, never a name you miss. This kind of silence doesn't just echo through your home, it echoes through your chest, because the world still sees you standing, walking, breathing. But inside, there's a growing hole. Not from loss, but from the absence of meaning. You were someone's everything. Now you're barely part of anyone's day, and yet you don't complain. You say you understand. You smile when they finally call, even if it's rushed. You say, "I'm fine," because no one really wants to hear otherwise. But the truth is, silence can kill louder than words ever could. There's a grief that has no funeral, a mourning with no condolences. It's the grief of being slowly forgotten while still alive, of watching life carry on without your presence being truly missed. Not because people are cruel, but because the world moves fast, and the elderly become invisible in its rush. You used to be needed. Your advice shaped decisions, your presence was expected, your birthday remembered. But now, people assume you're fine. They assume you're resting, enjoying peace. They don't realize that peace without connection is not serenity. It's abandonment in disguise. This kind of grief hides behind polite smiles, behind "don't worry about me." It hides in photos not updated, in empty chairs at family gatherings, in text messages left unread. It hides because talking about it feels like weakness, because aging is supposed to be graceful, dignified. But no one warns you it might also be lonely, quietly, painfully lonely. Every home has a chair that tells the truth, one that once held laughter, conversations, or arguments over coffee. A chair that now stays empty, not because no one needs to sit, but because no one remembers who used to sit there. It becomes part of the scenery. But for you, it's a reminder, a symbol of what was lost, not through tragedy, but through time. That chair is more than furniture. It's the weight of absence, the echo of footsteps that no longer pass through your hallway, the sound of a television playing not for entertainment, but to muffle the unbearable stillness of an afternoon. That chair knows your secrets. It sees your waiting, your sighs, your silence when you realize they're late, and you knew they wouldn't come. We don't prepare people for this kind of solitude. We teach them how to save money for retirement, but no one teaches how to save meaning, how to prepare for the moment when the world outside still spins, but your phone stays silent for days, or how to survive a full calendar with nothing circled in red. There's a silence that doesn't soothe, a silence that grows louder with every passing hour, pressing against your chest like a weightless stone. It isn't the calm of peace, it's the noise of absence. The ticking clock becomes thunder. The creak of the house becomes a whisper asking, "Where is everyone?" His memories, once sweet, begin to hurt, because every recollection carries a contrast, the then and the now. You remember the voices, the dinners, the small chaos of life. But now the plate is for one. The laugh is only yours, and even that has started to fade. The photos stay framed, but they've stopped being updated, as if life pressed pause, or decided your story no longer needed new chapters. This is the loneliness of relevance lost. You're not just missing people. You're missing being part of someone's plan, of someone's day. You used to matter in the logistics of others, in school pickups, Sunday lunches, phone calls asking, "Can you help?" Now you're an afterthought, or worse, a memory still alive. It's possible to be alive and yet feel erased, to have your name remembered but your presence forgotten, to sit at the table but not be part of the conversation. This is not bitterness. It's the quiet ache of a soul that still wants to participate, to contribute, but is treated as background. You're told to rest, to enjoy the calm, but sometimes what they call rest is just a polite form of exile, a way to push you into a space where your needs won't interrupt theirs. And you accept it, because asking to be seen feels like a burden, because even your pain learned how to whisper. But inclusion isn't just about presence. It's about meaning. About feeling like your life still touches others, still has impact, that your stories still change something in someone. You don't need the spotlight. You just need not to vanish. To not be a ghost in a room full of people who still have reasons to look forward. But what if the silence wasn't only loss but also an invitation? What if the empty chair became a sacred space of memory, not absence? What if the world forgot, but you remembered? There is a power in the one who observes, who listens, who still feels deeply. Your time is not over. Your presence still holds weight. Even if the noise of others has faded, your soul remains loud enough to echo through time. You can choose to fill the chair, not with regret but with legacy. You don't need everyone to notice you. You need to notice yourself again, to reconnect with what once made you laugh, cry, care, to write letters no one expects, call those who forgot, plant a garden no one else will see, simply because you still feel life moving through your hands. And that is meaning. The syndrome of the empty chair is real, but so is the healing that comes from standing up, moving it closer to others, and reminding them that you're still here, not just breathing, but alive. If this video spoke to your silence, write in the comments, "I still belong to this life." Share this with someone who's sitting quietly but longing to be remembered. And if you want to keep finding meaning in the spaces others overlook, subscribe now. I'm not the absence you see, I'm the presence you forgot how to hear.